We understand certain values that we're going to meet at some point. I'm a daddy's boy, you see?
I'll be on the shake, making me $1
Hello, everybody. Kama upesh Makoya, and this is my perspective. Masincokoleni, guys. Chance, Nikrent. Sonke. Skala samsiphelele. Saint. Afro. Eto. Novi. Simnand. It's the same team, Siyakob. Hey, guys, you know, this one is going to take a bit of a sharp curve, you know. We're going to be talking about things that men are not really comfortable to be talking about. But it's the conversation that we need to be having. You know, most of the time, Afros, people will be asking questions, what do they talk about? You know, because the conversations they do, you know, they end up a good. They don't really go out there. No, no, no. Actually, we can have conversations of substance. We can actually have conversations that can change the world. You know, we can sing abantu abakwazi ucinga abakwazi uthetha. But it's just that because sometimes, especially when there are many campaigns or whatever it is that is happening that the world is going to, men like to take a backseat and not say anything about those kind of things. We understand? But it does not mean ukuthi amadoda I have no opinions. You understand? So what I want us to do namhlanje, gents, more than anything else, is to actually delve into those topics where if ever men talk about them, it's kind of found taboo. You know? So that people out there can actually understand what goes on in the mind of a man. Like what's happening. So that's what I want us to talk about, gents. But I saw something very interesting namhlanje. I don't know if it was today or yesterday. And then I had the conversation when I was coming here with Hussein to this is interesting. Because I feel, if you remember, guys, I think one of the episodes that we spoke about when Afros, what we did, we kind of touched on it a little bit. There's a divide between men and women. You know, others are pulling this way and others are pulling the other way. And I think and I feel, there's got to be a need at some point. Look, we have to meet each other halfway. You understand? Because it doesn't matter what happens to a woman or what happens to a man. And if ever bathethi, nothing is going to be found. Nothing is going to be solved for that matter. And I feel, actually, we're not having the real conversations. I believe and that's it. Because we're not really having these conversations. And women are vocal about these things. That's one thing that women can do, that I can applaud them for, is that when women are not happy about something, they're actually going to say it. You understand? And this thing happens to even individually. Uvi might be feeling something but it's never going to tell us. You understand? But once I feel bad about something, it's definitely telling somebody. And then now we attribute that to what? Emotional. Don't you have emotions in that?
Everyone does.
Exactly. But why are we not talking about our emotions? What is this essence that's supposed to feel like, if I talk about my emotions, now I'm weak. Now I'm soft. But we're going to talk about those things because we have to find a balance. I feel so in Afros.
Yeah.
We have to find a balance. Yes, indoor, as far as I'm concerned, there's certain things, there's certain way that you have to carry yourself as a man. We understand? But I think at the very same time, society kind of expects something that a man must do that naturally I believe he cannot do. But I will delve deep into that as we are talking. Talking about what I was saying to you, Saint. You know what I'm saying?
No, Madabez, you touched based on something now that you said. Can you repeat what you just said? Because it kind of clicked.
No. I was saying, at some point, it's not only just a man. I think, generally, even as a woman, society sometimes expects a woman to do something that they naturally cannot do. You understand?
That's what
Vice versa.
That's what
society now, I feel, they expect a man to be able to do something that naturally they cannot do. And as a result, I think that is where we are getting the cracks. You understand? Because we cannot really dissect into yoba. No, man, if I expect this out of Saint, I'm never going to get it. But if ever Saint does not do what I expect out of him, and it does not do it, then I label him as something that is actually not. You understand? But as I'm saying, I'm going to unpack this as we are going ahead. But let's start it slowly. Let's get into it. See, marinate anyway. So I saw something, I think it was written by Masincokoleni Saint Man, if you remember that post.
Yes.
She was talking about the talking stage when Afros. What happened to the talking stage? You know, like uboniche uyayithanda and stuff. Like nowadays umjita nje uvela jonge kujongwane sengulani kuyaqhutyeka. You understand? What happened to wooing a girl? You know, courting a girl. Ukuthi, remember after we spoke about this, I think we were saying ukuthi, but hey, back in the day, wawusiya kulo ntombazana. Ane okanye umbona intombazana endleleni umntatshi.
Yeah.
Siyafunda manje futhela nawe sine statement masihlathina la xesha.
Yeah.
Afuna bone statement mhlawumbe sifuna kuGrootman. Sendwana afuna kufika uthi ba. You know, so that's what used to happen. So what we did, besibana statement. Sifike pha kusisi sisibeke statement. Usisi uzathi bana hamba nicela ixesha locinga. You know? And then ke wesa stena esiyana I prove to ugirl uba ndi serious ngale way. You know? So I have to do things but ndizomcheka. Stroll naye, ndihambe naye. We're only going to date later. Mhlambe at some point at some time.
Yeah.
You understand? Khayifunde wena le way sento esibuyibambile lapho kuwe.
So, umazinhlana daba yasinetha afros. Uthi a talking stage is the process of getting to know each other with the hopes to get the other party just as interested in you as you are in them. You do this by being truthful and honest about who you are and what your intentions are. By being gentle, respectful, and consistent. You do it through listening and paying attention to the things they like, and by showing genuine effort through small and thoughtful gestures that reflect your intentions. This is where dates and gifting come in. You're trying to court a girl, you've already established that you like her. Now you're giving her the time for her to like you too. Kanifake any effort, Toho Chomi Zamva, loosen up and give love a chance. It's 2025. That's the post.
All right. Before ningene Afros, and Neville has a statement to sit in.
Yeah.
I just want to ask one question on that statement. I neither agree or not disagree. Is it me that feels good as a statement sibhekisele ukuthi singamajita?
Sibhekise ku I also feel that it's a message, and it's a clear message. I don't think it's not hidden much. It's hidden. If it's hidden, it is hidden in plain sight. That this is a message to men, to guys. That's how I'm understanding it. It's as simple as that. My answer is as simple as that.
Now, the fact that the Afros that Umazinhlana felt the need to communicate that to men, is it a sign that we are losing? Are men slowly falling back from the courting stage? Are we being more reserved, or are we stepping aside? Is it something that we're not doing anymore, or in the past, over the years, is it something that we've stopped doing or putting effort much to an extent that Umazinhlana have to put out the posters?
It could be one of two things. There are always pulling and pushing factors.
Yeah.
There are always pulling and pushing factors. So it could be one of two things. It could be that I am not going to the field to harvest because there is no fruit to harvest. Or it could be that I'm not going to the fields to harvest because I'm lazy. So it could be that to take it home, sense, it could be that men are not doing these things that are desired by the messenger there because there is no need for it.
Yes.
From the other side.
Afros dingene kule nto uyithethayo. You know, dingene kule nto uyithethayo. You know, the thing is Usaint is asking ukuthi bana, is it because mhlambi men now are lazy or no longer, putting a lot of effort because of 1, 2, and 3, and 4? as Africa is saying, ukuthi can be one of two things. Sometimes you have to ask yourself, ukuthi, this effort that I'm putting in, is it worth it?
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? For instance, now, or else is it being demanded? You understand what I'm saying? Because if you demand effort out of me, then I'm going to put effort.
Yeah.
But if I can get it easy, if it's easy, I take it home.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So we cannot look at men only and say, you go to Machita, what happened to you? Ladies, what happened to you?
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? There was a time, I will tell you now. The Kuleka Slam. Ikrodman, the baby one ntombazane one. Simazi ba uAfrika nguAfrika kabantu kaChriselda.
Yeah.
That's it. You understand? UChriselda noba uthini noba ungubani usuka phi soza kuvuma.
Yeah.
Soza kufuni. You understand what I'm saying? Singamanje I used to see guys. Guys will come, let's say kufika intombazane entshekasi. Guys will come flock around there kuzuliswe nje. Yeah, don't. Everybody's looking at that girl. Because that girl was the fruit that Africa is talking about. Everybody wanted to harvest that because she was worth it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But now, what happens now when I say men? You go to a club, you're a guy, 5 chicks are onto you. You know what I'm saying? Then what effort are you talking about?
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So, look, I love the idea that she's talking about Tukuti. Because now Afro, as Saint, you talked about resetting, which is very important. The resetting that Saint was talking about, Afro, is us going back to how things used to be. Because if you look at many things that are happening wrong when it comes to men and women, when it comes to coexisting relationships and all of that, it stems from that. There's some values that we've lost along the way. You understand? In Ntombazana, there are some cultures. For instance, if you look at the Zulu culture, you understand? Because they put value into that because they know what it means.
Yeah.
And then daughter, what are they going to do? They're going to put an effort. Simply because bayayazi bana utheni uyilento bekumele uba uyiyo intombazana, and then we're going to do everything in our best.
Yeah.
Ukuthi make sure basiza ngohlobo. But imagine if ever there was no such, look, you just go anyway, intombazana ifumana lula.
Yeah.
Well, in that post, Saint, that you're talking about, if you look at the gents there, the comments of the gents there, you understand? Aye, nowadays is that ufuna nje ndikhuphe wethi ixesha lamu ndikufakele imali, because she's talking about gifting.
Yeah.
We are gifting. We are not dating, but we are gifting. There is another post by another guy, a long one, but I'm not going to talk about it now. But a long one. That guy, you are saying, this is the reason why guys are not supporting the people. Is it the people what? The women. Yes. He was saying. So he's detailing his story when he was played by these girls.
Okay.
He took these girls had an agreement. Had an agreement with these girls. Okay, Cooper when a girl. Girl says, okay, Cooper why we spent 10K and everything, and then afterwards, girls is like, hey, take us back.
Yeah.
But the agreement was not that. We understand? So now you get such things that amantombazana now they literally go to clubs with the hope of some guy will buy them drinks. I know this wasn't happen to me. But anyway, most of us.
Yeah.
It has happened. You understand? You go to a club and then you see a girl that you like, that you genuinely like. You go talk to this girl and everything, but this girl, the only thing that she's saying, okay, this one is actually going to buy me a moe.
Yeah.
You understand? You buy them away, you buy 2 of them. You understand? I'm not suggesting when I'm buying a girl a moe that I should be getting that girl. You understand? But if ever I am being serious about you and I'm showing you, look, man, you understand? I'm going to take you out. I am going to do this thing. If ever you do not like me, tell me right away.
Yeah. Makoya, coming from my generation, not that old, but coming from my generation, there was a way in which we used to do things, especially when it comes to girls. I went to work, I was out of the club scene for a long time. And then I remember going to the club, with that old methods of mine, that, okay, if you find someone, there's going to be that eye contact, that brief eye contact. You want to say something, sir? Okay. Okay, no problem. You know those things, man.
Yeah.
That little bit of eye contact every now and then, maybe after an hour, I'll go talk to you. Hey, man, what a revelation, man. The times had changed. There's a culture. There's a culture that developed. I was the most boring guy, like lost, completely lost, because there's a certain culture now of doing things. Things are not moving the way that they used to move now. There is a culture. I don't know how to describe it. I don't know what the culture is, but things have changed.
A lot.
There's peer pressure now from the girls as well. If you're not doing things a certain way, there's a certain way in which you need to do things. It's not just me. It's me and my friends now. Do you understand? And it's not just this. It's these. You buy these things. It's not a bottle of Reds or whatever anymore.
Yeah.
You buy these things if you just want the chance of talking with us. So
Saint Ben, Buzotin.
Okay, so I just wanted to read a couple of comments. I think it would be fair to not only just read the post, but also the comments under the post. So I just want to read a couple of comments.
Just bring it here.
Mike.
Okay. Umongo Motsi. Sorry if I mispronounced it. Mohomotsi. Yeah. Uti yimake gifting and stuff to gifting. Okay, uti yimake gifting and stuff to get her like me. I mean, doing this doesn't guarantee that she likes me. In fact, I'm aware that women like and pick a certain type of guy before the guy even realizes that he's the guy. So it sounds pretty sketchy, or rather more like a setup for a non-reciprocal relationship, or rather an imbalanced one, whereby one party is putting in a lot more effort than the other party. I'd rather see the signals first, then maybe, ... just maybe I'll react, depending on whether I feel the same or not.
Okay. But you see, Afro, having said what I said, I dislike that. What Mohomotsi is saying. This is the actual problem that we are having. We understand? Man has a role. We understand? You are a hunter. Hunting is not easy.
Yeah.
We understand? You might think that we fumelele away, and then it runs away. How many times have you hit a bird? You understand what I'm saying? Do you stop hunting? Do you quit and it's like, so I'm done with this thing? Or you throw in the towel and everything? No. Do you understand? Umdana has a right to give you a chance. You understand? Yeah. And umdana, the fact that you have bought her something or anything like that does not guarantee you no, because remember, this is a journey, right? This is a process. You are getting to know each other. Now, during the getting to know each other, we go out to eat. Masichu. Now, during the eating, I see some characteristics of you that I'm like, nah, man. And coherent. You understand? But I decide, okay, let me give you another chance. Now, let me give you another chance. Let me see. You understand? We go out again, and I'm like, hey, man, no. I'm seeing more and more red flags. Are you telling me, Ndombazana must now, simply because you have gone this process, you have gone this journey, must now agree to something I bona yoba? You know what the problem that I find with most guys on the Afros? We cannot take our L's and move on. You understand what I'm saying? Take your L and move on. You understand? Because the Kribeleni, Landombazana, ayongeyam. There's nothing wrong with me, trying to impress her. And if she's not impressed, she's not impressed. Yeah. But now she has a right to give me an opportunity. I'm not talking about a girl now that is stringing you along. Yeah. You understand? But I'm talking about somebody who is genuinely giving you a chance. If somebody was genuinely giving you a chance and you messed it up as a guy, suka. Kalangan. You understand what I'm saying? But I think the most important thing on that message is that, guys, let's go back to Undalash. You understand? As a guy, Chita, sufuna undlela lula ufumana izinto. Ntombazana, be open. Nawe uba umchita umnike chance. Umamela. There are many comments there so amantombazana phaya kula wini. But abanye amantombazana pa guys, please pray for me. I've been talking to this guy for a week or two now. It's going to be the first time that we are going out. I hope and pray ukuthi leyo ngale nto besiyithetha ngapha uzayibona ngokapha in person. It might happen now xa bedibana, the girl now becomes off. Is the guy now going to say, no, boss, I bought you airtime. I Ubered you from here and there. No, you were stringing me along. No. No, you as a guy, you were doing your duty. It is your duty as a guy to court a girl.
Yeah.
The mere fact that we have guys, this is out Tibana, Kafneki Kondomas, and it'd be like, oh, Fneki Ben Tim, Gugulona, when's the effort? Fneki Ben Tim, Lona was an Aibo. So are you expecting a girl now to be the one who's initiating? What are we saying?
Okay, molweni go Enzo lo uthethayo.
Enzo man.
So dinombuzo if intombazana ke ngoku yona yak approach, like let's say nguye othande wena.
Okay.
You understand? Ewe umhle but bungayilindelanga and everything but ibe nguye approachayo. So as a man, ilando ikwenza ube weak na or kango beke effort or something like that since inguye owenza ezo zinto. So ngifuna nje
Good question. Good question. Love that. Anybody wants to come in first?
Go for it, Makoya.
All right. You know, I'll always go back in the day because in Afro we're always talking about our generation, our generation, our generation. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, Ane? But I will tell you what I will not promote about that. Ne? I want to say naturally, but let me say naturally. You know, amachita, I think that they're the ones that are wired to be doing that. Uyanjol? That has happened to me many times. It always catches me off guard. You understand? Always catch. I am never ready for that. There's one thing in Domazana, okay, now she's into me. But the one that actually comes and talks to me and saying, hey,
Yeah.
Hey. I always ask myself one question. How many times have you been doing this? Am I really the only guy that you or every time udibana nemchita uthetha the same thing? Uyanthola? Already now my perception of you changes. You understand? My perception of you changes simply because you are doing something out of the norm. Uyabo? So now there's these questions zingekenzi. And also, most of the time it tells me that you do not necessarily like me, but you are lasting for me. That's what it says to me.
So basically, so when Makoya,
If that's the question, is little like
so Makoya, let me tell you,
so like Afro Mike.
is it fair?
Oh, bet okay.
Is it fair ke ngoku xa yona iza kujonga ngelimehlo nalo xa iyiyozo ku?
Yo benzobuza.
Wait, I didn't catch the question.
Is it fair? Like jonga umzekelo ne. It's we're supposed to do
Intombazana like itheni? Okay.
The girl approached you. I get told you how they like you and stuff like that. When I caught you off guard, ne? Uzenenga zakho ba how many people have you done this to? Even namhlanje yonke lonto. All those questions that you've got. So is it fair ke ngoku yona bamayibuze wena lo mbuzo xa usiza kuyo usithi ayithanda?
No, it is.
Ne?
Yeah, it is fair. It is fair. Because remember ekugqibeleni, ane? How I take and interpret a situation is an individual thing. It's me. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's influenced by a lot of things, how I grew up and everything with the generation that I'm coming from. For instance, somebody who's a 2K might be used to that. But somebody who's an 80s might be like, whoa, indongugli. You understand what I'm saying? So there's a lot of things, there's a lot that influences that. But as far as I know, umchita, it's more of a norm or it's more of an accepted thing that ibenguye otacha intombazana. Intombazana has every right to ask you any question.
Yeah.
Awudlali ngami wena. Awuxoki. Unthanda nyani? I can't bonus. Can't prove. You understand? That's what we grew up with. Sesastena besetha ngaso esiya. You understand? Besetha ngasastena sokuba imagine ungumjita ngoku. Intombazana approach ukuthi bana iyafona no serious. Usho. I man, for a couple news next week.
But when, like, it happens. Like,
Yes,
all sisters in the 70s, 80s, they do approach us. Actually, go get a cooling la makasha magdala.
You see, Etos, ne? When you're talking about that group, you see that group, ne? Not any age group, not any particular generation, 70s. I'm not talking about 70s or 60s or whatever in particular, or 80s. I'm talking about a generation that would go for a younger generation, especially when it comes to women. You understand? Something was amiss there, but that's a conversation for another day, for which we can delve into it very long. You understand? There's something that happened. I think it was in the 80s and 90s. There's something that happened. There was a shift that happened, which kind of propelled everything into the 90s and to the 2Ks. And the 2Ks ran with it. For instance, I'm 2K, they don't give a damn. If you understand? But it didn't start with them. It started somewhere. There was a shift from how things were used to be done by an earlier generation where indoor actually would actually now, let's say, I love your daughter and I'm willing to put out a dowry of this much for your daughter. Let's have this conversation before we do anything. We understand? And there was a conversation in the you don't sleep with the guy until that guy has made a commitment towards you. There was that period. And then it changed. It kind of changed. Look, actually, we can actually have sex. But then we can marry. And then it changed up to a point of, actually, we can just have sex for one day. Just happy. You understand what I'm saying? And then it changed. Actually, you know what? It doesn't even have to be a day. It can be an hour. Quick. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? So it started from somewhere. And then it moved to a certain direction. Hence, we are talking about the resetting. That is what Masincokoleni is talking about. You understand? Kuti guys, how is it that we have lost the plot completely when it comes to dating? What happened? Can't we now go back to the fact that now we are serious about courting a girl as umchita, and also we are being serious about our intentions and being genuine with the intentions as it. You understand? So osisi ke etos xa bekutatsha. Uzothatshwa ngosisi, osisi banengxaki zabo ezineziqithi. You understand? If ever you were talking to me about a girl that is younger than you, that does that to you, that's a conversation that I'm talking about. But leyo ama sister abadala ndiyayazi la way party.
All age group.
And the younger ones, they do that a lot.
You do that as well?
But also, no. Everyone does it, my guy. There is no age.
Okay, but the question that I'm asking you guys, all of you, and Enzo, everyone, the question that I'm asking you, do you find it normal? It's a yes or no answer.
It's not.
Okay.
It's not.
It's not.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to explain here. You understand? We can talk about it and debate it as much as we want, but at the end of the day, you don't find it normal as a guy. You understand? Yeah. And a girl finds it normal for you as a guy to approach it. Even us as guys, we find it normal to approach girls.
And why do we hesitate when Tapes posed that question? Everyone kind of hesitated, right? Why did we hesitate?
Anyway, Afros, moving along, guys. I wanted to have this conversation talking about the talking stage and everything because I wanted to get to another matter. Now we are living in the times of social media, you know, and I don't want to sound okay. Anyway, so we are living in the times of social media. The way, you know, relationships the way they are. Excuse me. The relations the way they are, they're no longer the same as they used to be back in the day. Amachita were more reserved. Amachita be polil. You understand? But nowadays amachita andwebile. You understand? So into yondwebo besiyazi le emantombazane nexesha elininzi. Suba ekuse hayi amantombazana yiyo mana initiator izinto xa kuthiwa makuphunywe out yiyo zothi bana hey hayi masiye kwephi restaurant. Ekuse xa kuthengwa impahla baby does amachita weslava hey doesn't matter man. And then for that matter we didn't even give a damn about that. Just sifuna hlala namachita thina. Sifuna hlala ko picnic. Sitya amaqunu ube phane yogurt. We don't want that. You understand? That's not who we are as guys. You understand? But times are changing. But now guys are more into this thing. Now it brings me back to something that I posted. I said the post that I posted. I said, "Ba, Ikian that is concerned about the OOTD. OOTD gay is outfit of the day. Yes.
Okay.
The Ikian that is concerned about the OOTD, Masincokoleni. And then there was a backlash. You know, I always have backlash. Every time I come here, there's backlash. We understand? Now, first thing that I want to clear out. I hear a lot of people were talking, but oh, ani no more na, couple intle, blah 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 blah, no, I saw from another post, not my post. They didn't write on my post. I saw on another post. But I asked about But I want to address that. I don't have a problem with people having their opinions but I always have a problem with people misinterpreting his into. But then I understand, Afro. You know, social media is very fickle. Social media is the peace, man. You know what I'm saying? But then I understand. Even back at school, in the class of 35, there were actually 4 or 5 people who actually could comprehend things for what they are. And now, unfortunately, the other 30s out there on social media thinking that they know everything. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But this is what I want to say when it comes to that post. As a guy, love your woman. Love her wholeheartedly. Thanda umuntu wakho. I have a girlfriend. I'm not going to understand. I'm thanda umuntu wami. You understand? Kakhulu futhi. You understand? You know, the only problem that I have with the narrative that is being pushed, if you check on that post, the post that I posted, you will see, guys, many guys understood what I was saying. Guys understood what I was saying. You understand? It's the women that have a problem. Why is that? You have to ask yourself that question. Because women are happy with the idea of a soft man. There's a difference between a soft and a kind man. A soft man does not survive amongst other men in any species. Now we are living in a generation where we are promoting softness amongst men. A man cannot be soft. A man has to be kind. There's a difference. Loving your woman is one thing. And then being cruel to your woman is one thing. There are things that you should be concerned about as a man. That I feel that personally, you know, especially as a closer man. Remember, as a closer man, you are not born a man. We make you a man.
Yes.
You know, there's a code of ethics that we do not talk about that we know as men.
Yeah.
You understand? You understand? But we know that it does everything else. And we know the things that it is inside. You understand? Of which one of them is to respect your woman. Love your woman. Respect everybody around. But most importantly, protect and provide. You understand what I'm saying? Now, it worries me when I see a new generation of men who are getting too much into the softness. You understand what I'm saying? You worry about things that don't matter, that women should be worrying about. You understand? For instance, as a guy, you tell me now, Afro, did you know what you were going to be wearing today? Why should you care?
Yeah.
The only thing you care about is that you're going to come here and you're going to work, you're going to make money to take back home. That's what you should worry about as a man. The fact you this watch ndithenge kwabanibani le ntonto nayithenga kwabanibani le ntonto hey come on. Ayisuka. You understand what I'm saying? But there's nothing wrong with it if that's your vibe. If that's your vibe and everything and all of that, and you are doing everything else that you gotta do. Yenze ntangam. You understand? But never ngihleli nawe ndiyakujonga and be like yole ileali. You understand? You understand? Like say yole. That's by plan sihleli sonke la way. But okay, yole. But there's nothing wrong. So I don't want people to misinterpret because now people were thinking that I'm jealous of the guy loving his woman. I didn't even know the guy. I don't even know him. It was not about him as a person. It was about the idea of men delving too much into the softness. You understand what I'm saying? Because now, you get to a point when Afros now. For instance, now we're talking about GBV and these things, and guys, abangavumiyo xa betyelwa. Abaposta amantombazana wabo ku social media xa betyelwa. Softness.
Yeah.
Indoda xa ilahliwe indoda yala. But simply because we are promoting a softness amongst men, we've got weak men around here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We've got weak men around here. For instance, there wasn't this other guy, nentombazana yakhe bethetha nge-English, comprehension, okanye grammar and stuff, kwathini. It's a guy who actually went first to post things about the girl. Saying, guys, ndenze yonke into. Esemandleni uba lo mntana ndimgcine and stuff. Now undishiyile. Like, look at this thing. I'm looking at this thing and I'm like, umjita lo?
I get worried. I get worried a lot, Makoya. I get worried a lot. And when I see people close to me, you know, they have an argument with their girlfriend or with their spouses or whatever. And obviously we talk. And then I would see on their statuses, on their WhatsApp statuses, I'm like, no, don't.
That's not how to handle it, man.
Don't. You don't do that. She
She
can do it. I don't mind. But don't when as a guy, as a man. You can't do that. Don't put no man. Don't fight your girlfriend through WhatsApp statuses. Go to her, go and talk to her. Or if you don't want to talk to her, you understand? No one has to know, not your contacts have to know that, okay, you understand? When an argument, women can be backstabbers, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, maybe other people don't know, but I know, you told me that, you know, you just had an argument. But anyway, I was thinking to myself.
Yeah, because you know, sorry, Afros, you know this thing, ne? I was thinking, man, and actually we men, we created this. You know, we created this because especially our fathers, right? We've got a host of women raising up men. And they've never lived the men experience. Now there's a girl who can come onto social media and tell me, as a grown man, Ukuti, what you are talking about cannot determine what a man is and not. Like a girl, tell me, a person who has lived 41 years as a man, Ukuti, what determines being a man or not? You know what I'm saying? But you know why this is happening when I afros? I thought about this and I was like, look, I grew up with a mother too. You understand? My mom had an experience with my father, which was not pleasant, probably. How many young boys are growing up in that situation? They are being brought up by mothers who had unpleasant situations with their fathers. Now, the only dream or the only goal that they're trying to achieve is to make sure their boys are not like their fathers. You know what I'm saying? Be kind, be soft, cry. Don't bottle up emotions. All of those things. You know what I'm saying? Because these women are trying to make sure that they don't create the same men like the men that abused them before. You understand what I'm saying? But who created that? Who left the women alone to raise them, to those children? It's us. But the only thing that I have a problem with on top of that, when I saint men, is that, yes, as much as the women, their heart is in the good place, the soft men that they are raising is going to be problematic to the woman that is going to be married to. That woman is going to be calling him a mama's boy. Is going to be calling him soft. Is going to be calling him weak. And that man, I'm not saying this is the model, but it's going to create a lot of can of worms. I'm not saying that men that have been brought up in a masculine environment and stuff have become better men and all of that. But all I'm saying is that when there is a divide between when women are trying to raise a man in a way that this is how you're supposed to act as a man, where they have never lived a man's experience. There's no way I can tell a young girl, Uguti, as a woman, this is what you're supposed to do. You understand what I'm saying? I might have an idea. Ukuthi xa intombazana siphatha ngohlobo. Xa intombazana ufuna kube ngohlobo, ufuna ungabi lula mntanami. Ufuna kungathini mntanami. But there are things that are naturally womanly that I can never have an opinion on as a man. Same thing that women, there's something that are naturally manly. that they can never have an opinion on. That is why God created us both, so that we can coexist, we can come together, we can share these experiences, and then when we are bringing up children, we can impart both personalities.
I like what you said there, Makoya. That example really touched about women raising men or raising boys. So to me, the way that I hear it, it's like they are raising these children with a sense of a defense mechanism. Because I've been through this by a man, I'm gonna make sure that
It doesn't happen to
my child does not grow up to be that man. Yeah. So it's a sort of like a defense mechanism. So now she ends up, and not by her fault actually, she ends up cherry picking what she will impart onto this child. And by that cherry picking, there's a lot of other manly aspects that are needed in order for this child to grow up to be a proper man.
And where does that boy now get these things from? That manly part. It's gonna get them outside.
Yeah.
And now the information that is coming from outside is not always the right information.
Yeah.
And then if ever that information is coming from a wrong person, chaos.
Shy.
Chaos.
Saint man.
So Dapesh was saying, ne, in an effort to try and empower or protect these young boys, ne, women are indirectly creating unstable men. Now, how should, let's say now I'm a single mother listening to this podcast and whatever that we're saying here. How should I go about trying to create a stable man, or as a single mother? How should I go about it? Because my efforts,
Very good question.
my efforts are creating destructive men indirectly.
And this is my child.
And this is my child.
Yeah.
And this is how I know how to raise my child. I don't know anything else.
Yeah.
Not that I don't want to, it's just that I'm figuring it. How should I go about it?
I think there's a great saying within the African community that it takes a village to raise a child.
Yeah.
It takes a village to raise a child. And we grew up in homes where there is utani, where there is umalume. You understand? We grew up in those communities, and those structures are still there. Be it now that they have distanced themselves from each other, but I think that structure of a family where there is utani, where there is ubuti, where there is umalume, really, really worked. Because when umama was single, was raising a boy child, they would always go to utani to go ask about the teen. Because let's face it, umama will not know everything that a boy needs. As much as they would like to believe that, they will never know everything that a boy, especially in the African context, that a boy child needs. There will come a time, or there comes a time actually.
There comes a time
when they need to go to Otani or Malume, when this boy needs to have imbeleko, when this boy needs to go to the bush and all that stuff. Now, that time doesn't only need to come, or doesn't have to come only at that point. That time can be continuous from the onset of raising this boy child.
And
So to answer that question, they don't have to figure everything out on their
themselves.
own.
Yeah.
That's where the balance comes in.
Yes. Yes.
Look, thanks, Afro. I think you pretty much summed it up. You pretty much summed it up. Saint Man, it's exactly as Afro is putting it. You know, a problem up here bekhona ixesha elininzi, and like le nto ithethayo Afro, I can understand it. Ane ilanto yomgusha umntana uzoba lapha. You understand? And ke ngoku akho umuntu uzamchatha, akho umuntu uzamenza ntoni na. You know, look, I'm saying this again. I'm sure up in this room, mhlambi, look, maybe half of us were brought up by both parents. You understand? But you get out there, most of us were brought up by single parents. Muslim moms. You understand? And we turned out right, simply because of that, what Africa is saying right now. There were a lot of men around us. You understand? But it's just that it can go either way. It can be a good man, it can be a bad man. That is the mentor of your child. You understand? But the bottom line is that there are manly things that a woman can never, even in their wildest dreams, know. Vice versa.
So depending on who fills that gap might determine the trajectory that you might go.
Yeah.
Then, for example, if Umama tries and fills in Ezo gaps, but now she can't fill in all of those gaps as we've just said. Now, depending on who fills in those gaps for you, maybe apekasi, yeah. Or even an uncle, in a good in the ideal world, mhlambi utata. But if utata geko, he's among uncle. If uncle geko, the boy will somehow apekasi find a man that will fill in those gaps.
Yes.
So depending on who fills in those gaps determines how the trajectory that the boy will.
And look, there's no formula when as you've just put it as well. You've actually just answered yourself as well. I don't even know if you're asking a question or you were making a statement.
No, it's just an observation.
It's an observation. Because Afros, even if the father is there's no guarantee that the father will impart great values. He might do the exact opposite. You understand what I'm saying? He might actually give you virtues that are fucked up. You understand what I'm saying? There is no formula into that. But what we are saying, Guguti, what I'm trying to put across there is simply that, look, there was something here in the Bediboli with Afro's city. Indoda engayaziyo isoka indoda nyani leyo. You understand? Like in a South African context. And I was like, whatever, man. You know, but isoka kuthi nesinyanzelwe. Because ngamajita inyanzeliwe kuthi, you know. But back in the day, what I knew for a fact is that you'll be in some sport noba ngesiphi. You understand? How we out, whether you are into rugby, you are into cricket, you are into ndondon, but you're gonna get out there, you're gonna get your ass kicked, and you're gonna come back with a broken arm. Try breaking somebody's boy's arm now. See what happens. See what happens. I'm not saying let's go to breaking boys' arms, but I'm just saying, look, guys, there's a reason that God gave us strength as men. Physical strength now. You understand? It was not to beat people around and stuff. It was to work the earth. Work the earth so that it can provide for us. You understand? So we have abilities as men that women don't have. Women have abilities as women that women don't have. We have to find each other and coexist. Simple. Saint man.
But now I have a question. It's on the floor for everyone. Now, my question is it dangerous to say a man needs to cry, a man needs to be vulnerable, a man needs to act how they feel? I have opinions on that as well, but I just want to get the floor. Is it
Good question.
dangerous?
Good question.
I will raise
Can permit. Can we bamba Afros or V? The question is. Can I paraphrase?
You can paraphrase.
Okay. The question is a very good one. He's asking in the context of what we were talking about, having to shy away from raising soft men. Is it dangerous now to say to a young boy, if your feelings are hurt, cry. Don't bottle things up. You understand? In this context of saying, men have to be strong. You know, we have to build up this strong man. You understand? So that the natural strength that they've been given by God can be put into good use. Is that good?
100%.
100%. That is the question. You understand? Because now Mosanditi City no man, these boys are soft nowadays. You understand what I'm saying? Now, remember, crying is always associated with girls. Even as we understand? So we always knew from a young age I have an answer when I say it.
Let's go.
And I have an answer. I think I have an answer or a theory of my own. Number one, I cry. I cry a lot. Not as a man. But you will never see me crying. That's me. You understand what I'm saying? I cry a lot, but you will never see me crying. You know why you'll never see me crying?
Why?
Crying is a moment of vulnerability. It's not a moment of weakness. There's a difference. It's a moment of vulnerability. Crying it doesn't mean that you are weak, but it's going to be interpreted as weakness if you see me cry. When I said you already holding me into a certain regard, right? And then I get my feelings broken. And now I cry. What's the first thing that you're going to say? I'm being vulnerable now. Ne? But what are you going to say? You understand what I'm saying? But what does not crying actually do to you? It fills you up with anger. You understand what I'm saying? It fills you up with anger simply because you have not dealt with it. You have not let your emotions flow. However, we are living in a society that will always label things. You understand what I'm saying? They'll always give labels. As much as women would love to see, for instance, let's say when I feelings, you know what, baby? When I was young, like I used to be done this by bad man and tonton what tintin yolando. You are motivated, but baby man, you understand? Now she's watching you, looking at you and be like, yeah, rechot. You understand what I'm saying? And you know what's going to happen? You know what's going to happen? When the relationship turns sour, what's going to happen? Oh, I suka galogwen ukala ukufa galogwen. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So there is a need for a man to cry. But never let anybody see you cry. You understand what I'm saying? Cry. When you cry, you're going to release all these emotions, everything. You understand? What happens after you've done crying? You feel relieved.
You feel a sense of relief.
You feel a sense of relief. You're going to be fine. You understand? But what you do not want to see happening is when you go out there walking down the street and everybody's looking at you as a crier.
Yeah. I think that even that saying that indoda ikali comes a long way back, and it is still being used now. In times before these days that we're living in, there was a very clear distinction between a boy and a girl. Very, very clear distinction between a boy and a girl, from clothing to the house chores that we do, to all
games and all of that.
Yeah, games, like all the games and daily activities. You would never see boys playing that game. But it's a game that anyone can play. It actually takes a skill. You understand? So all clubs, even though some other boys will play all clubs, but there were games. There was a clear distinction. So even like showing your emotions, especially the soft emotions, like crying, were not associated with boys. You understand? Not that you shouldn't do it, but don't be seen doing it.
Street cred.
Yeah, you understand? So go to your room and cry in your room. You can do it, but don't be seen doing that. Don't be seen doing easy activities. Don't be seen playing upuka. You can play all those things. You would play but such games with your sister Bako in the room. Or sister Bako, you'll play on a dolly, even growing up with or sister Bako but you would never do that thing outside. You understand? You would never do them outside. So I think the thing of like don't cry as a boy is not meant like literally like forever, like there's a full stop now there that full stop, you're not gonna cry. Yes, you will cry, go cry. Because
it's natural.
Yeah, it's natural to cry. You understand? But we were trying to, our parents were trying to protect that distinction between boy and a girl.
Yeah. Which
shaped our communities, which shaped indlela sasiphila ngayo. Because without that, there would have been chaos.
Yeah.
There was a clear distinction that, okay, this is the boy, this is a girl. The boy will go to work and provide. The girl will cook and clean the house here. No clash. Everything is clean, is clear. We know our roles. No clash at all. Do you understand? You come back from Masculinity, cook one slice, you've got a sister or sister's Kolweni, you can't eat that.
Akwazi ugqiba ukutya
Yeah, because
engatyanga sister wakho.
those clear distinctions. Not that, no, we are equal. No, there was a clear distinction between the boy and the girl.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No. I think we've done that. Anyway, guys. Moving along. What time do we have? How much time?
We still have another 15 minutes more.
15. Okay, that's good. But there's two things that I want us to talk about quickly as we are moving along. All right. As we have seen, guys, all over the country, and I think now it's also going globally. There's that Women for Change thingy that is going on.
Okay.
Is it the Purple? Is it Purple? Yeah, Purple. Yeah. And I was reading earlier that they've got more than 1 million signatures. Meaning that the campaign is actually doing good. You know, there's more than 1 million signatures, meaning that the countries have actually turned purple.
Is it global? Or is
Yeah, there's few global and stuff, but I think around here in South Africa, that's what they've done because they're highlighting very important things. You know, you see this conversation that we are having right now will be easily interpreted as toxic masculinity. Because those are the terms now that are being used to describe men. And unfortunately, we don't have any labels for women. But we are narcissists, we are toxic masculinists and all of that. But this is my feeling when it comes to these things. There is a need for a dialogue. What I've noticed, Afros, okay, let me start here first. It's not a secret that South Africa has like the highest rates when it comes to rape and killing of women and children. And that is perpetuated by men.
Yeah.
I want to state it categorically. Yes, I'm a politician. I want to state it categorically that men do not experience GBV. Now, I understand many people find it hard to grasp this. The simple way to explain this is that for you to experience GBV is gender-based. You as a gender, which is male, you must be experiencing crime at the hands of another, like from females, at epic proportions. Women are experiencing crime from men at epic proportions. Which is why now it's at pandemic level. It's at an epidemic level. Which is why it's called a femicide.
Now, when you put it like that, it sounds very, very serious.
It is serious.
It is.
And it has to be treated with the seriousness that it deserves.
I think we need to start using more words like that.
No,
And
definitely.
maybe
The thing is, men, I've seen on social media, men don't get it. No, men experience GBV too. You know why they will say that? Simply because there was a domestic disturbance at their house. And then maybe the woman clapped him. No, man, that's not GBV. That is a domestic violence issue. Yeah. GBV is when a certain gender, a particular gender, is being killed just because of that particular gender. Women are just being killed simply because they are women. No man is being killed simply because you are a man. You know, when you are being killed because you are being robbed. You know what I'm saying? If ever a guy now chases you in the streets, it's because they want to rob you. But if you're a woman, they want to rape you first. You know what I'm saying? Simply because you're a woman. So women experience GBV at epic proportions.
Yeah.
That is why, look, this is a very serious issue. Now, let me go back to another issue that I wanted to talk about when it comes to this. Afro, all my life I've been a facilitator. I've been a presenter, in plenaries. I've been an MC, I've been a public speaker, and all of that, I've been a debater. And one of the fundamental things that I've learned in all those fields, of which they're pretty much the same field, is that you don't talk over people. You talk to people and with people if you want them to understand where you're coming from. It's like going to a venue where there are coloreds and white people, and I get there and I speak closer.
Yeah.
It's futile. Nobody's going to understand me. because I'm talking over them. I'm not talking to them. I'm not talking with them. I'm not having a conversation with them. So, as much as we can have these campaigns, Me Too, Women for Change, and all of these things, how many men do you see being involved in those campaigns? Few to none. Which men have you seen now on their social media, they have changed their status to purple, me included? None. Why is that? You understand what I'm saying? Why is that? I will tell you why is that. Women are experiencing what they are experiencing at our hands, right? But the only thing that they are not doing is to talk to us, right? They're not saying machita is anapa nina hlala napa khona sinixele nintoni ngani ingxakini. You understand what I'm saying? They're taking over us. You are trash. And we have to accept it without questions. Uyini izintsha. Amadoda ngaske afe wonke. What does that do? Immediately we go back to defensive mode because we're feeling attacked. What happens when you feel attacked? You defend yourself. And you tell yourself, I'm never going to be part of this. Why would I be part of something that actually insults me? You understand what I'm saying? But now I'm sitting with you here, guys. I'm telling you exactly why you should be involved. Now you understand it. Don't you understand it? But have you ever heard this conversation coming from women saying this exactly as I'm saying it now? No. Because women don't have time for that. The only time that they have is to tell you how bad you are. Doesn't matter whether you are part of that or not. You are it. You understand what I'm saying? Now, we've got men who exclude themselves from this and say, but when you are saying men are trash, why should I agree with that when I'm not trash? I'm a good man. You understand what I'm saying? I'm a good man. I look after my family. No. The people that you are talking about is a select few. It's not everyone. It's not all of us. You understand what I'm saying?
Defense.
It's defense. That's the first thing that happens. And whether we like it or not, Afro, the policies are made by men. The policy that these activists are trying to get across has to go through men. And if men don't understand what the hell they're talking about, it's never going to happen. We're going to have another one next year. And another one the next... Over and over. You understand what I'm saying? There are campaigns, I can tell you now. For instance, when you talk about HIV and AIDS, Afro, you talk about HIV and AIDS, there was a time HIV and AIDS was a very huge scourge in South Africa.
Yeah.
There were many campaigns. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But what was the difference with those campaigns? Men and women were together like this.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? I was a groundbreaker. You understand what I'm saying? Because HIV and AIDS affected both men and women. You understand what I'm saying? Even now, GPV and femicide affects both men and women. You understand what I'm saying? But there is a divide. One side is pulling on the other side. I even saw green flags. Guys saying no.
I saw green flags.
There was also green flags that I saw. I was like, okay, you see now what happened is goes back to what I was saying, defensive because you are feeling attacked.
Yeah.
Now, there's a purple flag. Oh, okay, no. Now I'm going to show you my plight. I'm going to show you that now I feel the same way that you are feeling, but I'm not going to support yours if you don't support mine.
Yeah.
Now, with this, you made an example of the HIV and AIDS campaign. We were united on that one. Now, with this particular campaign, which is a very important one, it's at pandemic level. Where is the divide coming from on this one? Why are we divided on this one? What exactly? How can we pinpoint the exact division that is actually making us not be able to stand together on this one as we did with the HIV and AIDS one? Where is that coming from? Is it an ego thing? Is it a systematic thing? Where is it coming from?
There is this thing when I saint men that I will look after my own. That is prevalent in communities. If it doesn't happen to me, then it doesn't happen to me, it has happened to a neighbor. You understand what I'm saying? For instance, when I hear about intombazane Rachel, you're saying no, it's got nothing to do with me. You understand? Because I'm done. You understand what I'm saying? So we have this thing, no, it didn't happen to me.
But
Ukuthi
with the HIV and AIDS one, I think that could also apply. But particularly in this one, we're divided.
No. It's the same thing kaloku ndithethayo into yokuba, for instance, there was a clear communication when it came to HIV and AIDS that whether you're not affected by AIDS directly, it might affect you indirectly. You understand? Because somewhere, somehow, maybe a family member, nobody extended, nobody ntoni na, might be having it. Mhlawumbi. Or else they know someone who has it. Or maybe when you might know a friend or whoever. You understand what I'm saying? We understood that. And then the communication was so clear that it was not just about Tina, singamadoda sisithi, hey, abantwana aba masibayekeni ngoku. Abantwana bayasisulela abantwana aba. Okanye amantombazana besaying ukuthi bana, hey, lamajita masiwayekeni la. Bamdaka aba bantu. We both understood sonke into yokuba, look, it takes two to tango.
Now,
You know what I'm saying? It takes two to tango. So all of us are responsible for this, and then we have to find solution for it. Sisonke.
now, Afro, are we saying in this particular movement, is the feminist movement failing to communicate properly? Is in this particular movement, is the feminist movement failing to communicate properly? Because Ututapeshi, if I'm getting it properly, that on the HIV and AIDS one, we were together because the communication was there. It was a together thing. We were tackling this thing together. Now, the difference that I'm getting from the feminist movement is that they are talking over us. Now, are they doing a terrible job at communicating so that we can understand and be together, stand together in this movement?
I think there needs to be a much more sensitive way to communicate, especially in this context, because the perpetrator, there are two.
Yeah.
I should say there are only two sexes, but anyway,
That's another one. That is another one.
in this context, there are women and there are men. The women are crying. There's an outcry from the women about stuff that are done by men to them. Now, in order for that fight to be won, like Makoya was saying, these two sexes need to come together. To
As difficult
fight.
as it is.
Yes. Before, the enemy was a common enemy to both sexes, which was HIV and AIDS.
Yeah.
Okay.
But now
So
the
it was-
enemy
It was
is-
outside of both of us.
It was outside of both of us. But now the enemy is within.
Yeah.
Do you understand? There's a
get
movie
you
called
now.
The Enemy Now is Within. And the communication is insensitive to the supporters of the woman. Because the supporters of the woman look, talk, walk the same as the enemy.
Well,
Do you get me?
I get
so
you, Dara.
there needs to be a very sensitive way to communicate this.
now, the Afro, with the urgency of this thing, because do we have time to? Okay, yes. Let me say we. Do we have time to communicate it sensitively? Will it have the same weight and impact if we now come? This is urgent, the Afro. It's a pandemic level type of alert. Do we have time to communicate it sensibly to ngenga this thing? To be like, guys, please come to the table. Do we have time for the pleases? Because this thing is a pandemic level. I think that's where the movement is coming. The feministic movement is coming from, because they realize this is a pandemic level. So now alerts are high. We don't have time to be stalling things. Now it's either you're with us or you're not. So they're bulldozing through this.
We have to
Do we have that time?
We have to be impatient patiently.
Yeah.
In this regard. In order to win, we will need to lose the battles in order to win this war.
Yeah.
Okay.
The small battles we'll have to lose in order to
like
win
that.
this war.
Okay.
Do you
I like
understand?
that.
We have to be impatient patiently, because it is not going to change anything if we do not find a more sensible and more sensitive way of communicating. Because the perpetrators look like us. And now if you're going to paint me with the brush of the perpetrator just because he looks like me, it's going to be very difficult for me to support you. Because you are going now to turn back to, because there is no divide between me as the good guy and the bad guy. You are seeing me as the bad guy. As much as I'm trying to come to you and say, no, I'm supporting you.
What?
You are still pushing me. You're still calling me names. You're still doing this to me. How am I supposed to feel? So there needs to be a very sensitive way of communicating this. Even to a point of saying that, okay, I understand
AV.
you are not them.
Yeah.
And I appreciate your support. I love what you're doing. I appreciate you. You not all of you are this. Do you get what I'm saying?
I get you to Afro. I have an idea, Tapesh. Can we make this a panel discussion where whenever, somewhere, somehow, we invite someone outside of us to sit with you on that chair, then we tackle this.
You see what I like about what you were saying, because you were saying to Africa now, Uguti, how do we invite people to come closer and say, to ngenga this thing? That's the word that you used.
Yeah.
You know what the answer that you're going to get now? They are already there. You know, they've already gone the steps. We are still here. Now we cannot expect them to come back here. We have to go there. You understand what I'm saying? Africa raises a very good point here, of which I would love us guys to come back, you know, to the severity and the seriousness of the matter. That whether we like it or not, we have taken a step back and they're standing there alone. And they are, whether they're talking over us or they are talking to us or anything like that, we are doing nothing. You understand what I'm saying? We are not saying, Uguti, look, man, like Africa is saying now, Uguti, guys, it is not all of us. Just change the way that you are addressing this. And then we're going to support you. You understand? We are not having that conversation. You understand? But at the very same time, we cannot expect them as being the victims who are already there to come to us.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Because these people are already victims. You understand? Tina, the right ones, that feel ukuthi this movement. Because remember, saying whether we like it or not, gents, I will always repeat this thing, Afros. Whether we like it or not, it affects us too.
Yeah.
You understand? Because that girl or that child or that child is battered by a man, brought to this earth by a man, battered by a woman. You understand what I'm saying? So a man, one way or the other, is affected. You understand what I'm saying? So once Tina as men stop seeing it as a woman problem and seeing it as an epidemic that affects everybody, then we are one step in the right direction. You understand what I'm saying? Then Tina saying, hence I was making an example, Lukuti. What have we done, all 2, 4, 6 of us, in this campaign, nothing. You understand? Because we feel, Lukuti, yes, I agree, Afro 100%. They've taken the fight on their own and they insult everybody. That is the truth of the matter. They insult everybody. It makes it hard for you to join. You understand? But if we are going to stop this, if we are going to put an end to it, we have to, with the strength that was given to us by God, come and assist them to fight this thing. It's that simple.
Yeah.
We just have to come in, assist them, and imagine, Afro, imagine, I saw a march today in George. I saw a march when I was going to work earlier. Women only. You know what I'm saying? Women only. And you know what I hate about this? I know that it's going to fall into deaf ears because this thing has to go to men to be approved. And they're not going to approve it because if they approve it, then they agree that they are perpetrators. And men will never do that.
I'm surprised even the Women for Change, how do you call this thing? Is it a proposal?
Campaign.
It had 1 million signatures.
1 million.
But rejected. How?
Was there like a petition?
Petition.
That's
There's a
the word I'm
petition.
looking
That's the
for.
word you're looking for. Petition. Yes, there's a
Was
petition.
rejected, my guy, by a woman.
No, that woman is working for a man. Unfortunately, it's a man's world. You understand what I'm saying? It is a man's world. Enzo, mandikunika iqala before ndiqhubekeke.
Bungafuna uthetha before.
No, like my thing was just like literally gonna add on like what Utapesh said, because like what I noticed is like when you like define GBV for me, like it made a lot of sense. I think like languaging is like very important because the way we communicate, like the men and the women, what they do is, say for example, like my girl, I cheated on her. What she's gonna say in the socials about okay, my daughter's isn't.
Yeah.
So like she's generalizing this whole thing. This has nothing to do with GBV, but then like now she's just like creating noise about like me cheating and then like all men are trash. You understand? So the next time I hear anyone else now just saying something about men, I just like brush it off because in general you won't get away. They just so I think languaging is like really important when like people are discussing such things.
Okay. Beautiful.
Into endifuna uyithetha mna yami landuza indlela imbono yami endibona ngayo. I feel like as men we failed women. Sibukele lento.
100%.
Sibukele isenzeka like sibukele bekhala. Like bakhalile and besakhala nangoku. But sayibukela lonto akho manyathelo siwathathileyo saya phambili nayo lento. You understand? So it's like endlini as a man, like bona jebe bekhala ba expecta as a man thina singamadoda sithathe amanyathelo aya phambili.
Yeah.
But thina khange siyenze lonto. You understand? Like endlini yakho xa umfazi wakho ekhalaza ngento ethile okanye ekhalaza ngonyana wakho and then wena uhlale ungenzi into ubukela iTV yakho but still uyakhala and unyana ubhizi wenza the same thing over and over again but still akho manyathelo wathathayo and then uthi ba hayi kaloku umfazi awunandlela yothetha. That's the reason why lento yakho phela niba defensive because xa uyi-approachayo kum uyi-approacha ngohlobo oluthile but awuyibeki kamnandi kum so nawe xa ungazuyibeka kamnandi uthi ndikusapothe njani kule nto abe yena eva kabuhlungu abe yena efeyisana nento. I believe xa ungumntu ufeyisana nento ebuhlungu ukwi-emotions ukwinto now niphela udecide like udecide ngendlela engacingiyo but udecide ngendlela ekhubekileyo and esemsindweni. So I believe thina as South Africans males siba failile. That's the reason why they came up with lento baza nayo that okay now engathi awekho amadoda awekho kulento sifeyisana nayo because it's been years isenzeka kudala isenzeka
And iya increase
but thina sisibukele ba kaloku zikadeni indlela yothetha zikadeni sanokuthi thina sisizinja sanokuthi sisonke kulento as a nice guy that uzibiza uyi nice guy but akho nyathelo olithathayo akudingi uba udukwece ba be a nice guy okanye khazibonakalisa ukuyi nice guy like as umuntu oyibukelele nto njengoba sithi nathi yas affecta athina manyathelo like sesiza ne green flags thina nathi ba hayi nathi thina siyahlukumeza like why singaface lento as men because men are leaders ngehlobo besetha ngalo from that lento. I believe mna if lento kwasiqaleni ibiqalwe ngamadoda lento ye purple flag and yonke izinto ezingehlobo if ibiqalwe ngamadoda lento inqobeka phambili yalento. I believe mna ikudala ikhona at least isombululo esiveli.
So Enzo, you are making very, very good points there. I just want to ask one thing. Why do you think ke ngoku intoni lenza amadoda anga movie? Mhlambi, what in your own opinion, what is making us as men, as you are saying ngokuthi bana, look, there shouldn't be any reason that is deterring us from joining the fight. There should be no excuse. We are making excuses basically. And you are right. You are correct with saying that. But in our entirety as men in general, because this is not an individual thing, it's like it's not even being conversated. It's not being shared. There's no secret groups somewhere that's saying, "Ninga join guys, ninga ngeni guys." But somehow men are feeling the same way. You understand what I'm saying? Because That is the reality that we are seeing. Men in Joburg, men in Cape Town, men in PE, men wherever. Nobody's joining the fight. Why do you think is that? You understand what I'm saying? So, what I'm trying to say, you are correct in every way. You know, what we are saying here, we have to be. But what we are saying, is it reality or we are creating scapegoats? You understand? And if we are creating scapegoats, then let's go back to reality. But if it is reality, let it not be treated as a scapegoat. I always say one thing, Africa, when people talk. Whether I disagree or agree with you, I always have to read between the lines. There is substance into everything that everybody is saying. You understand what I'm saying? The least that I can do is to listen and apply that. You understand what I'm saying? Because it might be that what I see as not reality might actually be reality. You understand what I'm saying? But to add on what you have just said now, I would love us men to be serious about our approach. That's the word that I wanted to use. I wanted to use a big word, but I can't get it now. You know, I want us to be, I just forgot this word. Anyway, I want us to, intentional. I would love us to be intentional about our approach. You understand what I'm saying? If you ends or sitting there, you are seeing this campaign being run there by women and you feel in your heart, look, I should join this thing. Join it. Takes one man. Takes one person. I can tell you now, with the following that I have, if I can put up something purple there and say whatever it is that I say, there's always going to be another 1 or 2 men that will join.
Yeah.
And from that 1 or 2 men that will join, another 2 or 4 will join. That's how it starts.
Ripple effect.
We do not have to be, as men now, send each other messages. You understand? No. You understand what I'm saying? Because like I'm saying,
Yes.
You understand? Anyway, guys, I think we're out of time, eh? We're out of time. So let me wrap it up quickly. I know Saint Man Nukuti, there's something else that we wanted to talk about, but I'm just gonna use that to end the thing with. So there's something that Relebukile Mabocha, who's also a podcaster, posted on social media. She was asking Uguti Bana, do men have any campaigns or causes that they actually believe in? Because as far as she's concerned, we support nothing.
Crazy.
You know what I'm saying? We support nothing. And then Chris Excel, being Chris Excel, is like, everything is built by man. The building that you are in is built by man. That technology, that phone that you are typing on, even the studio that you're going to go to and do your podcast is built by a man, which is egotistical. You might find it funny or else or anything. It is egotistical because she asked a fair question.
And I think we all know what she was saying.
I would say to answer her, that men are very well-known activists. Men, in general, in history. Some of the great activists that we know, that we uphold, and we take into high regard into this day are men. Nelson Mandela, Malcolm X, Mahatma Gandhi. Also, there's women, but I'm just answering this question now. Men know how to campaign. Men know how to campaign. The only question we have to ask ourselves is why they're not campaigning now. You understand what I'm saying? And every campaign that men have been in, whether it's civil rights movement, whether it's to end the apartheid, whether it's to end whatever, it has become successful. This is no comparison to what campaigns that women did. They've done lots of campaigns that have been successful too. But what I'm trying to point out there is that men can campaign. They have the capacity to campaign. Now, my only thing that I would ask women is that, ask yourselves, Why is it that these men are resistant? I'm not talking about the bad apples. The bad apples are only few apples when we talk reality. The good apples are many apples. You understand what I'm saying? But why are these good, ripe, green apples are not joining the fight? And also us as men at the same time, in the same breath, ask ourselves, sikholondo madoda. As ba uenzwe sisho abafazi bayakhala, children are dying. Every day on social media, every day in a news outlet, anywhere. I think the stats is that about 17 women die in a day. About 43,000 or something have died or been raped in the past year, which is a 33% increase from last year.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? We are not privy to this information, but women know it. And it is not their job to teach us this thing. It is not. It is our job to wake up from our asses and join the fight, because men listen to other men. How many fights have you broken up? As a man. How many people have you, how many girls have you protected that were almost killed or were almost hit by somebody, but because you were a guy, the guy stopped? Men listen to other men. And we're not talking to other men. We are expecting women to talk to us. Basically, we are saying, back us. Then we're going to be part of your fight and we're going to stop it. We need to talk to other men. I know many times when I Afros that I've heard that then I will talk to that person. It's a phone in. It's not it. This is not on. I know many times whether the quick groove when I Afros, I see a fight ensuing. I go there. What's going on? What's up? A guy cries. Because I tell him the truth. Today, you understand what I'm saying? And that guy will come sometime later and be like, "Hey, man. It is our duty as Grootmans to teach the younger ones. But it also is our duty as peers to talk to each other. Tina, we let sibone into isenzeka. Siyawazi amachita wethu. We know the things that they do. But we bet an eye strong enough to be like, nah, it's not my problem. But we know this thing. You understand? We are letting it happen, ngamadoda. And zayivala nditsho ndithi amadoda, my only plea to them is that don't wait for anybody. And now I'm making a pledge. Ngomvulo lusayo ngomvulo kanye ngomso. Wanna be people. Best Makoya here. And this is my perspective. Danko, sisong. We're gonna meet at some point. I'm a daddy's boy. See?